Yes, this is the second part of the video on how to install DVWA on Ubuntu OS. So, started my Ubuntu. So let me just see where it is. So yes, this is my Ubuntu. So at this junction, I want to log in. I log in using my username and password that I set up while setting up the username I use while setting up the Ubuntu. So this is I'm in already. So quickly I want to check my IP address. So my IP address is 192.168.100.100. So at this junction, I would like to remote into it from my host computer so that I can easily do a lot of things from there. I can do it from here, but it's more easier for me to do it. So what I will do is I will minimize this, then then I'll come to my Windows. This is my host computer. I will do a Windows R, then CMD. I type CMD, that's command prompt. It will pop up something like this. A quick one, ipconfig, is to check my own IP address of this system. So this is 192.168.100.101. We have another interface that is 0175, but this is on the same class with what we have. So how to SSH into a remote system, how to SSH to a computer is SSH. Then you put the IP and the username of the computer you want to enter. So that's GMD at 192.168.100.100. Remember the IP of our Ubuntu is 192.168.100.100. So that's what it is. So after you have typed this, you now hit enter. Yes, it's asking you, because this is the first time it's connecting to it, so it's asking you for an encryption. Want to generate an encryption key and save on both computer, and that's what it's asking you. So just type yes, you click enter. It's asking now. Next is asking for password. It's asking for password for the GMD. That's GMD at this was the password. So I have typed the password. I told you earlier on that when you are typing password in any CLI environment, you have to type by faith. If you type, it doesn't show. You won't see anything like asterisk, blinking on the screen. No. So you have to type by faith. So this is what it is. I've typed this. Wow. So you see, I'm already inside of it. So what it means is this: that I am now. This is my Ubuntu. This is my Ubuntu computer. So what I want to do now is I want to refer to that document I shared with you earlier on. So DVWA installation on Ubuntu 20.0. I also share the documents in the comment section. And so first you do is just always keep your computer up to date. So you can just copy this, come to this place and paste. So what does it say? You should update sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade. This -y is saying that any question that requires a yes or no answer, you should just pick yes. That's what it means. So it's asking for the password because this is sudo user. I'm trying to use a sudo command here, so it's asking for a sudo privilege. So I type the password. So yes, it's trying to connect to Ubuntu repository, and to do that. So while that is ongoing, let's look at what is happening in the document. The next thing, installing this is very straightforward and easy. I keep saying this because most of the work has been done in writing these codes, these documents here. So the next is for you to sudo apt install Apache. Now what we are doing here is we're installing LAMP stack. Now LAMP, because we are installing DVWA. DVWA is a web application. It's an intentionally vulnerable web application that we use for testing in a lab environment. So since DVWA is a web application, it needs to run on a web server. So that's why we're installing LAMP. LAMP is Linux Apache, that's LAMP. The L is Linux, Apache, MySQL, or you call it MariaDB, then PHP or Perl, depending on the stack you are moving. So this particular line of code is installing Apache, MySQL Server, PHP, PHP MySQL, PHP GD, then library Apache library. So it's installing all this thing on that. So it's installing the server. That's what this guy does. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so I think there's a problem with the updates. There's a problem with the updates. Let me just pause. Okay, so what happened is that I didn't have internet connection in the lab. So but now I've been able to resolve that issue. I have internet connection in the lab now. So first to do is I want to update this the Ubuntu. Let me be sure that there's internet connection. So I copy that code, come here, just right click and yes it, the password. Be sure there's internet in this lab. Okay, yes, so my host computer has internet. So there's likely, yes, so that means this guy too has internet. So we are good to go. Excuse me. So we're updating the Ubuntu and upgrading the Ubuntu. It will take some time depending on the last time you updated and the speed of your internet and your resources as well, and the hardware resources you have. So but with the look of things, this one has been updated. So next is to come and go to step 2. Step 2, as I explained earlier, is to install these packages for LAMP. So what you do is select, copy them, copy this line of code and come to this place, paste it, and off you go. Very express installation, very easy to install. It's going well. So going well, as you can see. Installation is going just as planned. Now you see Apache 2 pin is being pulled, Apache 2 data, so everything about the Apache is being set up and the likes. So after this code is done, the next 2-3 minutes, you will have to start the Apache. This first line of code is to start it. It means you are starting the services. The systemctl, sudo systemctl start Apache 2. So you are starting Apache 2. Then this other one you see sudo systemctl enable. This means that anytime your Ubuntu comes up, you don't have to come and enable it again. You don't have to come and start it again. So it means it's enabled as startup service. That's what it means. That's Apache is enabled as startup service. Then MySQL as well too is enabled as startup service. So this is what we'll be doing next, as soon as we get confirmation from this guy that this is ready. This will take some time anyway. So like 2-3 minutes depending on internet speed or hardware resources as well. So let's just hold on while this comes up. This is still ongoing. This is about 7 minutes now. About 7 or 8 minutes it started. I think the internet is pretty it's not too fast, but it's okay. That's only downloading is unpacking and installing them as we speak now. So let's just stay back, watch again and see how it goes. Oh, I did pause. Okay. We're almost through. So it's at the last stage of setup. Remember, we are installing the lab stack, the web server, because DVWA is a web application that requires a web server to run. So we are doing that here now. Sorry. Great. So a quick one here now. PHP-v will tell us the version of PHP that is installed. So you see I have PHP 7.4 points this installed. So this particular line of code will work for me. That's what it means. When I get to this place, I'll find this file here. But if I'm using another version, you have to change this. You have to change this 7.4 to the version you are using. Let's say it's 8.1, 2, 3, or whatever it is, so you have to change it. So far so good. We have been able to successfully install that. This was the code we just finished running now. So let's enable this. Let's start and enable these services. That's MySQL and PHP. So let's enable that. Let's start and enable them. Good. So they are all ready to run. So it means they have been started and they will be enabled to start at every button. So this particular line of code is to install is MySQL installation to set it up. That's what we are doing. And we must take note of these 4 things I mentioned here. We must set root password. It's a good security. So at this point it says creating MySQL using a blank password. This. So yes, and then this point, let's do yes. So I usually use low so that I don't have issues with my configuration. So remove anonymous user. I said yes. Look at this place. Say you should remove anonymous user. So yes. So disallow root login remotely. Yes, it's part of the thing. I say you should disallow root login remotely. I say yes. Then remove test database. I say yes. It's part of those things I say you should remove. So at this point now you are reloading the database. Say yes. So all is done for that one. So now is for you to now create your own. DVWA database. This way you are logging in with this MySQL-u means you are logging into MySQL with -u. The username is root and the password. You type the password if there's password. But in our case, there's no password, so it's empty. I say enter. So you see now that you're in MySQL now. So I saw that some people are having issues running this, creating this database. It's just straightforward. Forget about this PWD. PWD is to show you the presence of a directory, of which we are cool with where we are now. So just create this, copy from here to here, and just run it. It's a very straightforward thing. Paste it. Yes, everything is done. See the first line of code to create this is done. But take note, the password is identified by password. So your password is password. That's the password. That's what this line of code. The first line is it creates database DVWA. So you have created a database called DVWA. Then you have also created a user called DVWA at localhost, because the same Ubuntu is the one hosting the is then identified by what do you want it to be identified by, like which password you want to use. So this is the password. The password is password. That's what it means. Then at this point you now say you should grant it all privilege. So it's granting it all privilege, and then you now flush those privilege and exit. So this is a basic MySQL command that we just did here. So the next for us is to clone DVWA. We want to clone it. It's a repo in GitHub. So we want to clone it. So now, first of all, because there's a web server now. So if you come to your browser, I'm in my host computer here now. If I type 192.168.0.171 or thereabouts, yes. So this is my Ubuntu. So that means the web server is up and running. The web server is up and running. Remember the IP address of our Ubuntu. If you do IPA, you will see that is 192. Look at it, 192.168.0.171. That's the IP address, and that's what I typed here, and it's hitting me. So we're in good shape. So the next thing is to change directory into this WHTML, because this is the public directory for web. CD means change directory. You are moving into this folder that is housing this folder and is housing this folder. So that's what it means. So in this place here, that's where we want to clone the DVWA. So this is the code to clone DVWA. We are git cloning it because it's from GitHub. You git clone. So just copy the code and come to your terminal and paste. So what it does is going to clone it. That is going to copy it and put it inside this folder, the folder that we are in. So that's what it's going to do. It's not too heavy. It's very light. So you'll find it easy to. So at this point now, if you have reached this stage, that means you are doing fine. You don't have any issues. You will be able to do that. So, and I think after this video I'll exploit the the OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. I'll try to exploit them, maybe three per video. So I'll have like three or four videos to actually to do that. They are very simple things. I made the manual for them. That is, if you look at it, I also shared it. I'll share the link also while I'm doing that, so you see how to think from. Yes, this is where we are heading to now. I also explained that in this document. This is a different document entirely from the one we are using. So this is where. So I think it's from 6 that we started the lab work. This is where the lab work started attacking. So the first one is SQL injection. We'll see how it work. We'll see the screen. We'll see how it work. Then the second one is XSL reflected. We'll see how those also worked. Then the third one is command injection. We'll see how that also work. Then the fourth one is file upload. Yes, also this also a common vulnerability. We'll see how it works. Then the fifth one, yes, this is fifth one is CSRF. We'll see how that's cross-site reference. What's that? Cross-site request forgery. Yes, you see how that works too. Yes, I think we won't exploit it to this level. This is screenshots to that as well. Then for this also brute force attack, we'll use a Hydra to run brute force attack. I also have a complete tutorial for Hydra that does brute force. Complete tutorial for Hydra. I have that as well. So we just touch Hydra in the at the surface there. Just use it to crack the password. Then also we'll do directory transverse as well. That's the seventh exploit we'll be looking at. Then we have them till 10. Oh yes, Bob suits. Bob suits is also one of the things we look at when we are doing the exploits. Yes. So meanwhile, let's just hold on while this also runs. I told you all these things depend on the internet. This is not heavy. This is downloading about 1.7 MB megabytes. So you see that the internet is poor. That's why you are having it delay like this. This thing I think is about, if this is 30%, that means it's about 6-7 MB or max 9 MB. But this is not up to 9 MB. So but again, let's just hold on and see how it goes. This 1/3 of what we are downloading already. So let's pause and come back again. Yes, this is complete, it's completed. So the next thing is for us to, if you do ls, which is listing directory, you will see the entire, you see we have DVWA, we have index here. So what we want to do now is to rename this to a lowercase. That's what you are seeing in this in the next step here. We renamed it. So instead of leaving it in capital letter, we renamed it to lowercase. So that's what this line of code is doing. So if you now do ls now, list, you see that it's now in lowercase, it's no longer in uppercase. So that's what we did. So now it's for us to grant permission to all, to this folders, these directories and folders. So that's what we are doing now, granting permission to them. So paste and you run. Cannot access this. Hold on, I think okay, I think John access this. Ls is not part of it. It's DVWA. So if you just copy this and do that, is there. So now we have to cd into this folder. Now we are already in HTML. We have to now cd into DVWA. Then in it we will now see this config. So you can just do like this, copy this, just for so we're already in HTML. We now say cd. If you do ls, you are seeing DVWA. So cd DVWA. So you enter, you see already you are now in DVWA. So if you do ls, you see a lot of files inside. So what we want to do is this config file we want to edit. Where is the config file? Is this file now? Yes, is this file we want to edit. So that's the next line of code. That's this one now. That's say we should copy this. Rather, we want to copy this. We want to have a copy of this. Like we want to copy and rename it. That's what we want to do. We want to copy. We are copying this config.inc.php.dist. Want to copy it to this file. This file does not exist. So we are creating and copying the whatever is here to this place. That's what we are doing here. So config this, no such file in directory. No, there is config. Okay, cd config ls. Okay, we have to be inside the config folder to be able to do this. So if you do ls now, you see that you have this one and this one. At this point, you saw that it was only this one that was here when we ls. So you have this. So you just have to nano into this. Let me be copying the code so that I don't. You have to nano into this. Nano, using nano is an application to edit this file. Now we are nano into this to edit this file. So what we want to edit, use your arrow key. At this point here is your arrow key we use to move to wherever you want to move to. So at this point here, remember we change our password to password. We change it to password. So that's what this will turn to. Leave every other thing. Username is still DVWA. Database name is DVWA. So you leave everything like that. I also mentioned it in documents. So you're only changing these two things. Yes. So next is we are going to edit this PHP file. So after you have finished doing this, you see this is Control X. This Control X now means you want to exit. If you do Control X, it will ask you to save. You now say yes. You just type Y, and it's asking you now. After you type Y, it's asking you, do you want to still keep this name? You say just press enter, and that's all. You have been able to save that. So the next thing we want to do is to edit the php.ini file that is in this folder, in this directory, this part. So if you do this, you'll see the php.ini file. So you will have to find, you can do Control W to search for something. So what I want to search for is, although by default this one comes, I want to search for allow URL include. So I'm copying it to come to this place to search for it. You want to be sure it's on, allow URL include. allow. No, something is wrong. It's not allow, it's allow. Allow URL include. So this document, I think since it's control, so I will not know it to it again. Control W is where is, so it's allow, not allow. Allow include. So you see that this is allow f open is on, allow include is off. So I want to on it. That's what it means. That's what I'm looking for. Then the next one is what? Allow URL you allow f open. So we do the control W again. Allow this. Look at it is on. Allow URL open. F open is on. Allow URL include is on. So you will see that yes. So this is where we are. So let me look for the third one. Display error. Display errors. Control W. Search for display errors. You see that display errors is on. Yes. So what we just need to do, look for another display errors. Yes, this is the one I'm looking for. We want it to be off. We want it to be on rather. So as it is now, you just do Control X, say yes, and enter. So what you just need to do is to restart your Apache, and you'll be done on that. So if you restart your Apache now, which is what we are doing, your Apache is restarted. If you come to your browser, you refresh, you still have the, then put your /DVWA, enter. So you have your DVWA here. The default username for DVWA is admin and password. Yes, admin, username, password. So that's what it is. So at this junction here, you will be, yes, so you will just create database as I said it in the document, and after you do this, you try to access it using your IP address /DVWA is an example. Then you create the database username and this is password. Then you set this to be low, so that's where we look to stop there. So at this junction now, I'm coming to this place. I create the database. It will take some time to create. Yes, so database has been created, user table has been this. So if you refresh now, it should be taking you out to, let's see the instructions. It should be taking you out. Just log in again. So now you have your DVWA installed. Congratulations. So the last thing to do is to come to DVWA security and change it to low, so that we can. So in the next video, we'll be exploiting the vulnerabilities as listed in the book. So congratulations, you have been able to set up DVWA on Ubuntu. See how seamless it is. Very easy, very straightforward. Thank you for joining. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video so that you can help your community. Please share this video so that you can help your community. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you can always be the first to get videos like this. So my name is Israel Greatman Joshua. I do more of hands-on. All my videos, I try as much as possible to be real and to be practical at it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great journey exploiting DVWA. Thank you.